So I'm going to get around to telling you a fairy tale. And so, yeah, you could call it a lie, but, or fiction. Um, but I just I first wanted to just explain that for about 20 years I taught school in Watsonville, California, near Corralitos Creek. And I got conscripted by the Monterey Bay Salmon and Trout Project to teach about salmon in the classroom. I'm trying to see my notes there. There we go, so I don't forget. Anyway, Monterey Salmon and Trout Project. Oh, wow. Kids and creeks. If you want a fun job, just go try that. It is just beautiful. And restoring coho habitat. We lost the coho, but well, maybe they're going to be coming back a little bit. And rearing steelhead in the classroom to release in the creek. So salmon became my religion. I came to become an acolyte of the salmon queen. And when I retired, I wrote a murder mystery about salmon and pesticides, and it is called Fruit of the Devil. So, Ms. Aurora Bourne would do anything to protect her students from harm, even if that means going up against the most powerful corporation on the planet. Probably a lot of you know which corporation that might be. When getting her 4th grade classroom ready for fall, Aurora feels sick, and it's not just back to school blues. Outside her windows, next to the playground, strawberry fields have just been fumigated, and pesticides are drifting into the classrooms, causing serious health issues for students, teachers, and the whole community. But when a teenage sister of a migrant student goes missing from the strawberry fields, it becomes clear that pesticides aren't the only thing threatening the children's safety. Aurora begins to understand why the farm workers call strawberries fruit of the devil. As Aurora asks questions, she gets entangled in a web of gangs, drugs, trafficking, and high-level corporate crime. Then a courageous priest comes to her aid, and her life gets even more complicated. When she falls in love with the Catholic priest, she has no idea that he's actually an ancient nature god out of the indigenous legends of the Pacific Northwest. So here's an excerpt from the novel. It's the story of Salmon Boy, and this story is adapted from a Haida legend. Long ago, in a village on the river near here, lived a boy who was taller, stronger, and more handsome than any of the other children. But his heart was twisted and dark. The boy's mother made him a talisman for healing and protection, a powerful totem. She hung the medicine charm on a cord and placed it around his neck. The other children feared this boy. He was a thief, a liar, and a bully. The elders taught the villagers that when they took the bodies of salmon people from the river to eat, they must give back even the smallest bones to the river with prayer and gratitude. Otherwise, when the salmon people returned to their home in Nadai Hayan Ataye, the village on the river underneath this river, and they changed into their human shape, missing their bones, they would be horribly deformed. But that boy, he never gave back salmon people's bones to the river. Instead of honoring the salmon people with Oma, he poisoned the water and the land. One day in the month of first rain, when the river swells and the salmon people pass by, the village children walk down to the river to swim. Respecting the river's power, all the children swam close to shore. all except that boy with the twisted heart. He swam out to the middle of the river to show off. A giant whirlpool caught him and spun him around, 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 and pulled him down, down into the deep, dark black without sound or light. Out of the dark, a gleaming blue spiral swirled toward him, and inside the spinning blue, a point of light opened like a flower, and out emerged forms, silver and liminal. Quicksilver salmon people circled the boy. "You will come with us," they said. And they took the boy to Natai Hayen Ataye, the village on the river underneath this river, where the salmon people live. When they arrived at their village, the people climbed out of their salmon suits and stood on two legs in human form. They were kind to the boy. They gave him a new heart and a new name. They called him Salmon Boy. His new heart beat in beauty, and he wept for the pain he had caused his village upriver. Salmon Boy was taught the way of ceremony, how to sing, dance, pray, and listen. He became an impeccable hunter, capable of caring for Mother Earth and her children with gentleness, respect, and love. He learned to plant, tend, build, and mend, and to use the power of words and thought itself, never to wound, but only to move spirit in the direction of truth, peace, and compassion. He learned to see light dancing through the golden threads of the web of existence that unite all beings. When the elders recognized that he was ready, they led him to the healer's lodge and initiated him into the most secret mysteries of the ancient ones. Salmon Boy's heart cracked open, and the source of all was revealed to him. He became a shaman, a formless warrior priest. Many cycles spun on the wheel. One day, the old ones let it be known that it was time to return upriver. Salmon Boy and his people dressed in their fish skins and prepared for the journey. They were not as many nor as mighty as they once had been, because the power of Oma, the spirit flowing to them from the people of the village upriver, no longer ran generous and clear. As Salmon Boy swam past his old village, his mother stood on the shore holding her net, and Salmon Boy swam into it. His mother saw the totem shining around the fish's neck, and she knew it was her son. The villagers helped her carry the heavy salmon back to her hut. She held the fish in her arms and rocked him and wept, prayed and sang for 8 days. On the first day, his mother held him, the head of the man pushed out of the fish's mouth. On the third day, the fish skin split and peeled back, revealing Salmon Boy's strong warrior shoulders, arms, and heart. Salmon Boy's mother rocked him, prayed, and sang. On the 8th day, Salmon Boy knelt barefoot before his mother and father in the perfect body of a man. He cried salty tears over their hands, kissed their feet, and begged forgiveness. The people in the village by the river saw Salmon Boy's transformation and celebrated his return. He lived with them as teacher and healer for many cycles. Salmon Boy helped the people remember the old ways and how to return the water blessings of Oma, making the people whole and complete once more. In the ripeness of time, Salmon Boy dreamed the call for him to return to the lodge at the center of the circle within the circle. On a clear day in the season when the creeks swell and the ceanothus flowers release their fragrance, everyone gathered by the river to say goodbye. With tears in their eyes, Salmon Boy and the villagers sang the salmon people close to shore. The current was swift. A shadow thrust its spear into Salmon Boy's heart. He fell into the river and was swept into the center. A whirlpool formed around him, pulling him down and down. And when Salmon Boy returned to Natayan Atae, his Nataya was waiting for him there. He looked into her eyes and remembered that he had loved her forever. He has journeyed to many worlds where he is known and beloved by many names. It is said that every few lifetimes, Salmon Boy returns upriver to a village by the river near here.